Dylan, I got a job for you here.
Okay.
But it's so interesting, I'm just going to read the notes, okay? Oh boy, where do I start? One of his guys was driving it in the summer and it started making a loud banging noise. He shut it off. Sounded like a coal miner was beating the inside with a hammer. Took off oil filter and saw a ton of metal. A local mechanic found him a truck. The same mechanic took that motor out of that truck and put it in this truck. So the newish, quote, newish motor, you follow me so far?
Used motor got transplanted.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He put in the truck, and the second they started it, had a ton of blow-by. Okay?
Oh, no.
So I'm wondering, why didn't they know that before they pulled it out of the truck? Okay. And it blew the cap off. Okay? The original motor had a hole in one of the cylinders.
So the one that was knocking like crazy is now in the bed of the truck.
The one that's knocking is in the bed of the truck. The one that they should have tested before they pulled it out of the truck is in it, and it's got a lot of blow-by.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's a 5.9, an 03 5.9 Cummins.
Okay.
Pretty good motor.
Yeah.
Being an 03, it ain't got EGR on it. Mm-hmm. So, if it's got blow-by, it's probably got a problem with the motor. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a crankcase filter or anything like that. But let's go see. And if he needs a motor, he's thinking between the two of them, he'd have a good core. That's why he's got the other motor in the back of the truck. So I got the keys. Let's go out there and see what we got. I'm betting that we're walking out here because the notes here says in the summer. So I bet we're walking out here to walk back and go get a jumper pack. What do you want to bet, dude? What do you want to bet?
$20.
I'm not taking the bet. I'm just saying.
That's usually a pretty safe guess.
Is it this one here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one right there. Looks like an 03 Cummins to me.
Yeah, there's an engine in the back. Well, let's just jump in and see if we got to get a jumper pack.
All right. Yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing?
Oh.
Well, you got nothing because there ain't no battery.
Ain't no batteries in it.
Oh, gee. Well, they're not laying in the bed in there, are they? He's taking both of them out. Maybe he did that because he didn't want them freezing.
Yeah.
So let's let the hood down. Oh, geez, he's got an air compressor on here.
See if we see him back here.
Oh, jeez. So this is all the stuff
Looks
off
like
of
we
that
got a
motor.
pile of parts, yeah.
Let's go, which we didn't need. Let's go see if that got the batteries in it, or I got to sell this guy batteries just to even see what's going on.
Yeah.
More just parts?
Yeah.
Okay. This truck that got towed in from Idaho, the guy's got an engine in the back of it.
Yeah.
It has no batteries in it. I know. So he brought me 2 motors, but no batteries. I need 2 batteries.
Okay.
Then we'll see, we'll go from there.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
Please? Okay,
yep.
Thanks.
The next day.
All right. We got 2 new batteries for this truck, so I'm going to go ahead and get the batteries put in the truck, and I'm just going to set them in and hook them up, and we'll see if it starts up and what the engine sounds like. You can definitely tell people have been working on this truck that just stuff isn't routed the right way. This positive battery cable is just all tangled up in a whole bunch of other wiring and power steering hose, brake line, cruise control. It's gonna be a fun one to get back to good shape. But I figure for now we'll just get them hooked up and get it started so we can see what we're dealing with.
Yeah, okay, stop. Okay, first thing you notice when he's cranking that, you see how da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. That usually means you got a cylinder that's dead, because it's not, if it was hitting all cylinders correctly, it'd be more like da-da-da-da-da, it wouldn't be ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. Don't make fun of my noises, please.
Yeah, it definitely had that rhythmic, sounded like it was...
Something's not right.
Yeah, something's definitely not right just by the
You got a
sounds
rag
of that.
here, guy?
I don't.
Just see if there's one in all his parts. Doesn't look that old either. Okay, stop. Who's gonna run and get the tow truck, AKA
the golf cart? Yeah.
Okay, so here's the story. So I've been working on this ground in this area. I've told you before, that's the house I raised my kids in back there, behind the original shop. Then we bought this building from a tire dealer called Les Schwab 3 years ago now it's been. Time flies. And every time I'm around here, I still have this experience. Like, I've been living my whole life in this area for 40 years, 36 years in business here. But this is one thing that's like kind of freaky for me. Turn around here, look at this. So it's the 3rd of February. These are our mountains. And usually this time of year, it's all white up there. I mean, it's white. My parking lot could have some snow piled up from plowing, and we got nothing. And I was in churches like 2 weeks ago, and the preacher says, definitely we're going to pray for moisture. I think it's a good idea. He also said that the city has never recorded this low of snowfall ever, and our state is really going to be in a bind for water. You take simple things for granted, and that's kind of that's where this is going. Simple things in life you take for granted until you don't have them. Like my health with my shoulder, took it for granted forever. So my question to you is today, on the 3rd of February, what are you taking for granted in your life? Your relationship, your job, your boss, a friend, your neighbor? What are you taking for granted? And you really ought to maybe think and pray for them. That's it.
Just gotta slip past this bracket, hopefully.
Okay, what we're attempting to do right now is we're going to kind of bypass the fuel system. I mean, the truck came in, no batteries in it, obviously. I just need to hear it run. We've got oil in it, and the oil's not contaminated. It looks like pretty clean oil, but it sounds weird cranking. It's got this, like it's got a dead cylinder. So what I want to try to do right now is I want to try to just get it fired up. So we don't want to put go juice or AKA ether. Now everybody out there, they're like, don't use ether. I wouldn't use that on my engine to start a diesel or whatever. Guys, I'm not going to sit there and just soak it, okay? I lightly missed it enough to get it to fire up. Been doing this a long time. Watch how I do it. I know what I'm doing.
Intake heater's unplugged.
The intake heater's unplugged. Now, why is that unplugged? Is because I don't want a fire right here in front of my face with the intake heater igniting this ether. So we'll give it a little, go ahead and get in there. You're going to stand over here, and you'll kind of see. I'm not, go ahead. Okay. Something's seriously wrong with that engine.
It looks like his fuel pump's not plugged in.
I'm really not, really?
Yeah. That relay comes up to this plug here. And there should be the factory plug that plugs into that normally. Unless they got it wired in some other way.
Have we rolled onto this? Does he have a aftermarket fuel system in it?
I haven't
like
looked. I was just noticing this relay that seemed like it was a... Because on these earlier trucks, they did conversions into the electric intake pump instead of the one mounted on the block.
Right. You think our lift pump is not working? You want to just crack...
Something with the wiring,
You want to just crack a high pressure line and see if it's squirting?
Yeah.
Let's just do that. They're loose.
See that? They're loose, and that
Okay.
connector nut's moving too, so...
Try another one. This guy's got everything disconnected on this.
Yeah, this thing's a mess.
That one's tight.
That one's tight.
Well, maybe somebody disconnected to see. Here, let me crank on it and see if we get any squirt out of it. You ready?
Yeah. No fuel.
Anything?
No fuel.
According to his gauge, he's got a full tank, dude. I mean, it's full tilt full.
Yeah. I
Let's
feel
see.
pretty confident it's going to be wiring something. I think there's supposed to be a plug plugged into here to send power to the fuel pump relay to kick the fuel pump on. Right now we've got we're looking under the hood. This thing's a mess. I can tell they have an aftermarket relay here, which I'm assuming is the fuel pump relay just from ones I've seen in past on other trucks. So, and it's not plugged in over here, so I don't think power is being sent to our relay to turn on our fuel pump. So I'm just going to confirm that we're not getting fuel to our injection pump. So then I know to start running down that road of getting fuel to the engine, so then we can get it to start. So I'm going to loosen the banjo bolt here on the supply side of the injection pump. And then we'll bump the starter, which is supposed to energize the fuel pump relay for about 25 seconds. And then we'll see if we get fuel spraying out. Just as I thought, I should have fuel spraying out around this injection pump down here, right here out of this banjo bolt. But we have no fuel coming out of there. So that confirms my suspicion that something's not right with our fuel pump relay. So I'm gonna remove this relay. And what might be easiest for now is just to bypass it. Let's see what it's plugged into here.
Hey, you got fuel, bro.
We got
Okay.
fuel.
So
All
we got
right.
no electrical signal to our pre-pump.
Yeah. So if we want, we can just use my power probe for now and get it started.
Okay, so what we're trying to do here, we bypass the electrical signal, and a lot of guys, so we're just gonna show you how this works. So a lot of guys are gonna go, why didn't you do that first? I don't know, because I don't tell, I'm not Carmack the magician here, man. I don't know everything. But what we did is we loosened up some lines, had no fuel. We wanted to use some Go Juice, try to get us started, didn't work. So now let's check the delivery pump to the high pressure pump. Had no electrical signal, so we jumpered it. We got fuel now coming to the filter, which means the delivery pump or the pre-pump is working. So we're going to go ahead and jumper that, and then leave a high pressure line cracked while we crank it and see if the high pressure pump is actually doing its job. Did I get all that right, dude?
Yep.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. You're not going to hook that back up, are you?
No, I'm just getting it out of the way. I don't want it to grab the belt or
Now,
something.
everybody's going to be wondering, like, why don't they put the intake back on? Because you don't need an intake on a diesel to make it run. They could care less about that. It's not like a gas engine where you got to have a throttle plate and all that. A diesel revs up by adding more fuel, not more air.
All right, do you want to go crank on it?
Yeah. You ready?
Yep. All right.
Did it come out of the line?
Yeah, I got a little fuel dribbling out of it now.
Well, dribbling's not good. Well, now we're going to get the scan tool out and find out what the heck.
Yeah, and who knows what's loose or what's going on. So,
All right, let's do this. Let me call the guy and talk to him, and let's get the rest of the story, as old Paul Harvey had said. Okay.
All right.
Hello, this is Jonathan.
Jonathan, hi. This is Dave at Dave's Auto.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good. Your truck, this old 5.9 24 valve. Tell me about it a little bit. And when I say a little bit, try to condense it, because I can tell that this truck's been around a little bit.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. You know, the batteries were out of it. You got fuel lines loose. You got some electrical stuff unplugged. I mean, how long has this been sitting around not running?
It was August of this last year that was the last time that it ran.
Okay, and then when it was running, was it running good or?
It was running great until it wasn't. Until one of my employees called me and said it's making a banging noise, and he's not very mechanically inclined, so I drove out to see. I love this truck, so I drove out to see. He said, I turned it off immediately, boss, and it doesn't sound very good. And I said, is it like a fan hitting a fan shroud noise? Or he's like, no, it's worse than that. But I don't know if it's the driveline or what it is. So I went out immediately, and I took a trailer with me just in case, and had it ready to just like launch on the trailer if I needed to. And as soon as I started it, my heart just fell to my knees, because it was like a miner was in it with a hammer just beating the snot out of it. So I thought maybe a rod or a bearing or something like that. So yeah. I just launched it really quick up onto the trailer, and that was the last time I ran.
Yeah. Well, gosh, has anybody did you pull the batteries out of it so they wouldn't freeze during the winter?
That's exactly it. And then we forgot to put them back in it.
That's okay. So the pre-delivery pump was disconnected, the lift pump, and I also had one of the fuel lines, the high pressure lines going. I think it's injector 4 had been cracked, because when I got the pre-pump turned on, I just jumpered it electrically.
Sure.
Mechanically, it's working, but the electrical signal had been disconnected. It started leaking out of that injector line, and I could see that, and so I was just wondering, did people try to isolate what cylinder was making noise, or none of that?
No, not that at all. So
okay, well, that's okay.
I love this truck. I'll give you a little bit of backstory. So when I started my company, I needed a vehicle, and up to that time, I just had Toyotas. So this was the first full-size pickup that we bought, and I love the 5.9. So unbeknownst to me, it had a hole in one of the cylinders. I didn't know anything about blow-by back then.
Okay.
And I bought it and ended up finding, just coincidentally, the mechanic that had worked on it had known the guy that sold it to me, and told me the owner that sold that to you knew that there was a hole in the cylinder in one of the pistons. And I said, how? And he said, because I told him, I borescoped it, I showed him pictures of it, he knows there's a hole in it. Back to that owner.
What a dirtbag.
Yeah, you know the story. And so he gave me a few $1,000s back. I worked with a local diesel company near Boise, and they put a new motor in it. It was a rebuilt motor. It wasn't that motor, but a refurbished motor. And that's all it's had in it, and that's probably got about 150,000 miles on that motor. That's the motor that was making that noise.
Okay, so when you say, let me just slow you down. So the refurbished, they found a used one or something like that and just swapped it out?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Well, the 5.9, I'm telling you, that 5.9 24 valve, solid motor.
I love it.
Yeah. So
the mechanic that put that in told me to find a company. It wasn't you guys, but a company in Utah that refurbishes these. And he said, look, sorry, this other motor that we put in has a ton of blow-by in it. That's the motor that's in it right now. He said, we didn't even try to start it, so that might be why the line is cracked and electronics aren't working. He said it just blew the cap right off the top of it, so we didn't even really try to start it.
Okay, so I'm a little. Let's slow you down. I've lost the chain here. So the motor in the back of the truck and all those parts you have in the back seat
is the motor that was in it when my employee was driving it this summer.
Okay. So now I lost that. You kind of jumped to that. That's the one that was refurbished that you had 150,000 miles on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so now you took it to another shop. They put another motor in it, and it had a lot of blow-by in it or whatever, and the guy was like, shoot, I'm sorry, this didn't work. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly right.
Okay, well that's why stuff. That explains why the lines are loose and
Yeah.
Okay, so the motor. Sorry about that. Maybe a lot of times you probably told that story more than once.
I think just twice now. So.
Okay, so let me. I'm going to just recap to make sure I'm clear. The motor that's in the back of the truck, that's on a pallet, is the refurbished motor that you had when you bought the truck, and it had a hole in the cylinder, and you got a refurb. That's the refurbished motor that gave you 150,000 miles of its life.
Yes, sir.
You go to your employee You got it up on the trailer, the thing's knocking, banging, you're like, oh crap. You take it to a shop up there in Idaho. He puts another refurbished, a used motor in it, and it runs so bad it's got blow by. He's like, I'm sorry, go get it fixed.
Yeah, never. He told me specifically he never actually started it. He just turned it over.
Yeah.
I presume that means he put batteries in, or the batteries, and he just tried to start it. But
Okay.
So then he said, just go get a new refurbished motor.
Okay, so the motor that's in it, we've never actually heard it run, or you haven't.
I'm not 100% positive that it doesn't run, or the.
It can. I've tried, dude. I've tried 10 different ways. It ain't running.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm pretty, a 5.9, unless, they're not that hard to resurrect. They got to be really screwed up. Even if you had one bad cylinder, you can usually get it, or two, you can get them to run on 4 with some go juice. And this thing, it wants to go, but it sounds like hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what he told me. So,
Okay.
That tracks.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go talk to the technician and tell him kind of, the history of our patient, so to speak. And then I'll have Aubrey get back to you. But it sounds like, are you interested in putting now, we don't do like refurbished or used diesel engines because of this problem. We want to sell you one with a good warranty. But that sounds to me like why you brought it to me is you're kind of headed in that direction.
Yeah, what I would really like, and this is what attracted me, you guys, is your monster tow motor. I own a paving and excavation company as well, and this is a truck. Like I said, it's got sentimental value. I know it's not worth doing what I'm asking you guys to do, but the 2022 Dodge Ram I had got hit by a couple trees this year during a windstorm. So I decided I'll take the money from that and add some of my own money and make this a truck that lasts at least 10 years.
I get asked that. If I could, I want to talk to you about something because you just said something and you said it's not worth it. Let's work. Let's kind of just make you feel good about this because I don't want you doing anything you don't feel good about. That's not a good relationship that I like to have with my customers. So let's kind of just dive into that. The first question I always ask people when they want to spend money on a car, a truck, a toy, whatever it is first off, will it suit your needs? Now, if you were going into the business of hauling people around and you needed a big, van with 15 passenger van or something like that, that was your business, airport running between, Idaho Falls and Salt Lake.
Right.
I would be like, what are you spending money on this truck for? So
yeah, for sure.
It sounds to me like you need a good work truck.
That's exactly what I need.
Okay.
So that's got a BMW turnover hitch in it. It's you can tell probably that we tow quite a bit. We do a lot of snow removal with excavators. So I use it to tow. It's 3,500 and it's been a good truck. Okay, so let's get. I'm gonna, ultimately, I'm not your guru. You're the one going to make the decision here, but I want to help you work through the decision process. So whatever the amount of money you're going to spend, you feel comfortable about it because it is an investment, and that's what we're doing. So the first thing you do before you get into any investment, are you interested in it? Don't ever get into an investment because your buddy told you it was good. Immerse yourself. And what I mean by that for a truck is like, will this truck suit my needs? Will it do the work I need it to do? If it will, then you look at it, the rest of it, and you say, okay, the body's good. The tranny wasn't giving me any problems. I'm asking you these questions here. The rest of the electrical seemed to work. The air conditioning, and again, I'm asking you questions here. I ain't got the truck running, so I don't know how the tranny shifts and all this other stuff. All I can really do at this point is kind of do a used car inspection on it, which is, we'll check all the fluids in the gearboxes. We'll kind of do what we can, and then we can give you that assessment. We probably should do that if we're going to be putting an engine in it. I didn't get the mileage off this dang truck because it was out of battery, so I didn't have it. But do you know off the top of your head about how many miles are on this thing? Whatever it says is inaccurate. I'll tell you that, probably by 50,000 miles.
Oh, that's okay. What do you think? Where do you think it's close to?
275.
Okay. We probably ought to do it, once we get it in the shop and get it up on a lift. I'll have my guy do an eyeball on it just to make sure we're not throwing good money after bad. But let's assume that everything else is okay and, you don't have glaring problems. Then you look at it and say, okay, I'm going to put this much money in an 03 Dodge 5.9 1-ton 24 valve. Now, the first thing that makes me excited is it's pre-07, so it's got no EGR, it's got no after treatment, it's got none of that garbage on there that is just going to nickel and dime you to death, and especially as a business, because you're constantly dealing with after treatment, death fluid, EGR contamination, and the way they just ruin engines. So anytime you can have a work truck where you don't have to worry about all that additional crap, that's a bonus in my mind. I'm just telling you that right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is let's find out. Aubrey will be back to you. She can give you a quote on an engine. She'll of course explain to you that the engine includes, the engine itself with the warranty. We'll inspect the fuel system. We'll inspect the turbo. We don't want to sell you a bunch of stuff until we know that you need it. And sometimes you don't know that you need those things till you disassemble it and look at it. I don't take a shotgun and just spray your whole truck with new parts. Okay.
Right, absolutely. This is going to need a new turbo, not because the one that's in it's bad, it's because that's the original turbo. So I would like to.
Okay.
I texted Aubrey some of the things I'd like to do. So.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Jonathan, you seem like a great guy and smart. I hope that helps you at least. We didn't talk too much about it, but don't be so quick to say it's not worth it. I don't know. Is it worth it going out and buying a brand new truck where you're $120,000 and you got all that after treatment on it to just cause you nothing but grief over the next 5 to 10 years as you have to deal with that stuff?
Well, that 2022 that I had, I loved it, the 6.7, but I had the problem with the heater. What is that heater grid? I never did get it upgraded, so I was worried every day that bolt was going to let loose or that nut was going to let loose and destroy the motor. And I had tons of DEF problems with it. I took it to the dealer, and the dealer got hit by a semi at the dealership. And like that poor truck, it's the only truck I ever bought that was brand new, and the thing just had tons of problems. So that's why a big part of it is sentimentality. The other part is I really like an older truck, and that's a gem.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's movement in the community, and I mean good movement. There's movement in the EPA. They're looking at this. They're looking at our Clean Air Act and these different tiers, that we're in. We're tier 4 now, emissions, and they're looking at it are we really getting what we thought we were getting? And the cost of getting it, is it just bankrupting the consumer? And I'm saying it is, and a lot of people are saying that. So, we'll have to see where this goes, but there's hope on the horizon. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. We'll get this. We'll do what we need to do, and we'll swing back to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate the call.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bye. I think he already sold himself a motor. I don't have to do too much to do that. A lot of people bring their trucks from all over America because that's what they want. They already know that they want it. But again, we still go through the process to make sure that the money that they're spending is a good investment, because ultimately, I'm a father, a grandfather, I want to make sure that my investments are good. I've got a limited amount of resources. So we'll look at the truck and we'll see if this is a good investment for him.
Cole?
Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Holy cow.
We got you a present though. You are always on your feet at
Always.
this machine and all the other machines.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd get you some new boots. Try them out. The cool thing about Brunt and these boots is they're made for the job, so you can try them on the job. And if you have any concerns, send them right back. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're oil and slip resistant, which is really nice,
Especially around here. Yeah.
with everything you're doing for sure. Already waterproof. They're going to work great for you, and they should be once you put your foot in there. There's no break-in period. And so you've already got, these are already Brunts?
Yeah, I've already had these ones for a while, and I love them.
Oh, well, sweet, dude. Okay, so you already know, dude.
So, I mean, for 2.5 years for a work boot,
of hard use.
Pretty good. Oh, yeah.
The size?
Perfect.
Beautiful. You're going from Brunts to Brunts.
Brunts, yeah.
Just a little bit different style. Have you been, obviously you've been happy enough to put your feet in them every day.
Yeah, I wear them every day, weekends included. Those are pretty comfortable.
Sweet,
I like
dude.
those.
I know you've been learning and training
Yeah.
here on this machine for the last little bit, so hopefully standing will be a little bit more comfortable for you.
Oh, sweet.
Glad we could hook you up.
Thanks.
Everybody here loves the shoes, and obviously people like Cole that have been using them for the last 2 years still love them to this day. and he's gonna use the heck out of these shoes. Go to the website and get $10 off on your order by using code DavesAuto, and then you can have comfortable feet just like him.
Here's the deal here, so that we got it. This engine in the back is the second engine that the truck had.
Yes.
He bought the truck from a guy, and the guy instantly, it didn't run very well. He took it to a shop up there in Idaho, and the shop that he took it to, the guy says, of course it doesn't run well. The guy that owned the truck, that sold you the truck, I told him it had a dead hole. Had a bad cylinder. And
He's like, what?
the guy's like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway, they worked it out or whatever. They put a used engine in it. That used engine got about 150,000 miles. He goes up to his work or whatever. They pull it on a trailer. It's rattling, making noise. Takes it to a shop. The guy says, hey, let's put a used engine in it. That's a used engine. That used engine, number 3, has never ran. Now, he doesn't seem to be, maybe the guy didn't charge him. I don't know. I didn't get into that. But I just want to give you the timeline. That's a used engine that lasted 150,000 miles and then had like a rod knock, a banging on it, something like that.
Okay.
That's another used engine that he's never heard run.
Okay.
And he just drove it down here. So the loose fuel lines, the connections, because he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I says, well, why is it all disconnected? And then he's like, and then I get the story. So the point here is, we're probably going to find a can of worms.
Yeah.
We already have found a can of
I've
worms.
already seen evidence of that.
Yeah. So, but I can tell you this, he's ready to, he brought it here from Idaho because he wants us to put a motor in it. But I said, let's do this because I can't get it running, I can't take it for a drive. So let's kind of give him an assessment, you know, of what the rest of the truck looks like to us. And then he knows he's going to need a turbo because he says that's the original one. I said, you know, the fuel system, we'll figure it out when we pull it out. But any questions?
No?
Okay, I wanted to give you guys kind of that history together so we're all on the same page.
Sounds good.
It's always an interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 hours later.
Wait, have you started on it yet?
Yeah, I've started and I'm already finding things
you
that
got that look on your face, dude. Well, look at the
This
truck.
is-
It's an old truck, but but it's pre-EGR, dude. The guys.
Yeah, I know. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But the challenge that I'm going to be facing is other mechanics have, you know, this is going to be the third engine put into this truck?
Yeah.
And it hasn't been put together the best.
No way.
Can you
No
believe
way,
that?
dude.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I mean, I've already.
Are you sure,
I've
dude?
already found it with just the positive battery cable. It was like twisted around so many different things. I couldn't even get it up to the battery. I
Listen,
had to
the
undo
guy
it
that
again.
put this third motor in, the one you're staring at, never got it running, dude. So you
Yeah.
know, I'm. So
Let me show you another thing that I found too. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come and I'm just gonna hook up the scan tool, just see what codes we got. So I go to do that and look at the OBD2 plug. It's just completely destroyed. There's a whole bunch of tape around it, but you can see all those pins are loose in there and stuff like this. These are just,
Folks,
you know, the writing on the wall is here and I can just foresee it. But
it's kind of like when you go into a restaurant, you think you're gonna just get the meal that you want, but you start looking around and there's roaches and there's things
You're
like
like,
that. You start thinking like, do I really want to eat here?
yeah.
Let's get through the used car inspection. I
Yeah.
mean, he knows it's a work truck. And then we'll just document all that stuff and we're probably going to fix it.
Yeah, we can definitely get it back together. I'm not saying we can't, but I'm just saying this is going to be a Mount Everest. You know, this is going to be a climb to get this thing going right, but we can definitely do that for the guy, but it's just going to take some work.
Okay.
All right, we've got this 5.9 Cummins back in the shop. As you can see, I've pulled the cab off, and this customer, he's decided he wants to go with the new engine. We're gonna put the Tow Monster Plus engine in it. I also went through and did a used car inspection on it, gave the customer just a really good condition of the vehicle, and he's decided he wants to really fix up this truck. So we're not only gonna be doing just the engine, we're going to be replacing the whole steering system. We're going to do ball joints, shocks. There was contamination in the fuel, so we're going to go with the new fuel system. We're going to install a fast pump. with the Fleece SureFlow sending unit in the tank and new injectors, new rail. So this truck's going to be really awesome. It's going to take a lot of work, but once we get this running, this 5.9 Cummins is going to be a beast. So really excited for it, and it should be a good project. So as you can see, we pulled the fuel filter out of the fuel filter housing, and you can see all that crap that's in the bottom of the fuel filter housing. I think it's just from over the years. You know, this truck's a 2003. It's been a work truck its whole life, and people just haven't been clean. This will be the third time an engine's been put in this, and so it's just going to be best from here on out if we just start with the clean slate, especially with seeing how dirty that is. I can only imagine how bad the tank is. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up right on a brand new foundation of a fresh, clean fuel system, because that's really vital in ensuring the longevity of your diesel engine. They thrive on good, clean fuel. So we're going to make sure we get that cleaned up good for them and set up right so it'll last a long time for this customer. You hear that? That crankshaft is sliding like like the thrust bearing's worn out. All right, so I got the front cover off this engine, and while I was removing the harmonic balancer, I noticed we have a lot of run out on our crankshaft. If you watch right here, you see that gear moving back and forth. What that means is there's a bearing inside the engine called the thrust bearing, and it keeps that, basically what it does is it keeps that crankshaft from moving forward and backwards. It holds it in place. And so when we get end play in it like that, it means that thrust bearing's been wore out, so that crankshaft can walk back and forth, which then causes really bad wear on your bearings. So that's one thing they'll find when they tear this engine apart. That thrust bearing is going to be wiped out, and there's probably a lot of other bearing wear inside the engine. So that's a risk you can run going with the used engine if you don't test for it, is you can have excessive play like that in your motor.
So in a little bit, what we're going to do with this used engine, because we need his core, we're going to pull the engine out, we'll tear it down, we'll find out, is the crank now, the thrust surface totally gone? I know guys out there saying, well, you can weld it up, doesn't mean you ruin the crank. Sure, we can, but you get into I'm not a big fan of welding cranks, and I got a crank welder and a crank grinder, and especially on the thrust face. So we probably won't save that. It could just be the bearing in the thrust face just needs cleaned up, and an oversized bearing. But we'll tear that down. We'll also find out, why that motor went down. Hopefully he's got a good viable core at least.
Definitely hasn't ran for a while. All right, so I'm tearing apart this fuel system in this truck, and I just came across something that might be a good teaching moment. So on a Cummins, you have your high pressure fuel rail here, and then you have your lines from that rail to these, we call them connector tubes. And what that connector tube does is it goes through, let me pull the fuel injector out. So your fuel injector tube goes through the cylinder head, and then it comes into the fuel injector like that. And this is what supplies your high pressure fuel from the injection pump all the way to your fuel injector. And the issue I found was this one was just barely tight. And what that does is it allows that nut slides over these injector tubes, and then it threads into the head, and it keeps pressure inside the fuel injector. So if you don't have these torqued down, which I believe is 41 foot-pounds is the spec, then when you get high pressure fuel, you know, these can get up 20,000 psi or more, it separates, and then you get pressure that bleeds off of here and then feeds into your return, and then it'll drop your rail pressure and throw you into reduced power mode. So it's really critical when you're working on if you're doing injectors or working on the high pressure fuel system on a Cummins, that you torque these nuts down to the proper specification so that you don't get low power issues on your truck. You see like a little silver.
Dylan, your work is like Picasso, bro.
Well, thank you.
I mean that. Well, maybe Picasso's the wrong guy, because he was an abstract guy and his stuff was all wanky and stuff. So maybe we should call you the Rembrandt, dude. A little more realistic. It looks gorgeous, though, dude. Thanks,
Well, thank you.
Gosh, guys.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much detail on here that makes a difference. And I mean, from just getting all the covers clean, we soda blast all this to make it look, you know, so good.
Good as new.
And paint it. I mean, look at his front cover. You know, we take all that oxidation off. You know, when we install an engine, we want it to look better than it did new, and you're doing that, man.
All right, we've got the frame washed on this 5.9 Cummins, and I've got the long block assembled here and together, so we'll go ahead and pick this up and get it hooked up to the transmission and put back into the truck.
we've got this, it's a used engine, but we're going to hopefully use it as a viable core for this truck. We're going to tear it down and find out. Now, this is the engine, of course. They never got it running, so we don't even know what's wrong with it. He bought it used, and the shop that installed it was never able to make it run, and that's when he shipped us the truck. Jake?
Yes, sir.
Let's get this mounted up and tore down. It's got a lot of, I noticed in the crank, that's one of the things we found, is the crankshaft's got a lot of end play in it.
Okay.
But let's get it mounted up. I guess go ahead and pull the head off with it sitting here, and then we'll mount it up.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Whenever we inspect, we check for damage here, any kind of pitting on this face. We'll take these apart. Can't really tell because it's still pretty oily, but we'll check for scoring here. It looks good on that one. You don't see it very much here, but we check for wear on these pedestals. Everything looks good with this one. With Dave saying there was play with the crank, I bet there won't be any major failures up here. I bet it's more so in the block. Pretty shiny deck surface, rebuilt before it got here. Because this gasket looks fairly new. I've seen them a lot worse than this before. So we'll get it on the table, but the head looks like it's been machined too. So this fancy tool right here, this is what we use to check surface finish on blocks, heads, anything that's going to have a gasket. And the number we look for, this number to be under 25. At least that's what we look for. So we will see what it looks like. That little graph right there, it's basically dragging a needle across the surface. It'll take its average. With a 17.82, someone has definitely been in this motor. $10.35. That's low, which is good, but I think that just means someone has touched this block. Numbering the pistons, just so I know the order, and then I'll put an arrow for everything facing this way, just so we can be sure the pistons were put in the correct way. I've seen a couple teardowns we've done where the pistons have been flipped around or the rods were upside down. So just another way to be sure, another thing to check. Bearings look brand new. We have some small marks here, probably some small debris in there. So let's pull the others and see what we see. Yep, broken top ring. There's some scoring there. Some more here. So there was definitely some debris running through here. Minus these little marks, this is what your bearing should look like. And this is what we look like on the other side. Here's that same compared from cylinder 1 to cylinder 6. And we're looking at identical wear. That top one again. This one's stuck. That one's broken like all the way around.
Yeah, really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They look new. There's some scoring there, which I bet is all just from the broken rings, just pieces of it. There's some right there. I know you had said it was a used engine, but both deck surfaces
Well, that's what we were told.
really smooth. And I checked both with the profilometer and everything measured under 25 RA. Clean gasket, bearings look new, minus the ones I showed you right there.
So let's see here. It had some broken rings. Oh, geez. And there's the ring is seized in the land. That second ring, there it is. Huh. A lot of crud. So did the top ring break because we got a? Is there a big wedge on the top? Not really, huh? Are the pistons standard?
Yeah, standard
Yeah.
pistons.
I mean, maybe somebody did a head gasket on it once or
Yeah,
got a lot of crud in it. What year is this? I forgot.
03. Well, the truck was an 03, but the engine came from something else. So,
Yeah. But and this number 6 had a busted ring too. Yeah, and see how the ring is seized? What I mean by seized, you see how it's the second ring, see how it's springing there? You see how it's stuck in the land here? That's usually all this is carbon, this is ingesting carbon.
Moments later.
Dylan, I can see you're doing a lot of good upgrades on this thing. The BD manifold, this is the BD, this is their stock Screamer turbo, right?
Yeah, this is their stock Screamer turbo.
Guy's even got a Jake brake on here, doesn't he?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. We put a new BD manifold on this truck because it's a split manifold here. The factory manifold comes with, it's solid, they warp, they crack, they're a pain in the butt, they pop studs. This is an excellent upgrade, but all manifolds are not created equal. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The customer on this truck had an upgraded manifold. Now, here's his upgraded manifold. He's got the split ring, kind of like BD does, okay? But the quality of the work here, you see all the pitting here, you see how the flanges are just cast? There's no machining on the flanges. Look at the BD. You see the machining on the flange? Totally different animal, okay? The casting wall thickness is thicker. Here's another problem. When a casting is poor, see the crack? Okay? That manifold's not that old. Guys, all aftermarket parts are not created equal. Trust me on this. I only stock stuff that I know works. I've been doing this for 35 years in my own shop. Been doing this for 50 years. Trust me. Me, my son, Tyson, the guys that work around here, we figured out what works. That's what we carry in our online store, okay? We don't carry stuff just because we can make a buck. That don't make me that does me no good. That gives me brain damage, okay? So if you need good quality diesel parts and some of the upgrades that we're doing, they're all available on our online store. Click on the link below, go to the description. We've also got, check it out, I love this. Got to show that off. Booyah! Dave's billet freeze plug kits for all these engines now. We have them on our online store. And Guy, I'm looking at the cooling system here. We got to. Where's
Missing
our oil
a part,
cooler?
huh?
Missing
Maybe
part.
we should start making oil coolers so we can have those in stock too.
So I'm not perfect. I'm out of oil coolers. I'm out of stock. We're gonna have to fix that. So we're putting a fleece in-tank pump. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that tank.
Yeah, so the fuel system was contaminated, and so instead of cleaning the tank, let's go with the bigger tank.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so this is a 65-gallon tank.
Up from what, a 40?
I think 35.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's getting that much bigger.
Yeah, the old tank, it only goes to like just barely past there.
Yeah.
It isn't quite as tall.
That's great,
so,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is his old tank? You already.
It's right outside the door here.
And can you see the contamination in it?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, look at the garbage in there. Wow. Okay.
Perfect time to upgrade the tank.
Yeah.
And then what else are we doing in here? We putting
Yeah, so we've got a fast system.
He's already got the fast system already.
Yeah, I've got it installed on the truck already. The
oh.
lines ran.
We got a new fuel filter housing.
We bypassed it with the fast.
Oh.
Because the fast has filters. So fleece makes this block.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then you can just tie your return lines back into that.
So all our filtration is back here on these two filters.
Yep.
Which is like three times more than what it originally had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, that's how you get a perfect fuel system. And if you got a bulletproof fuel system, your motor will go forever. The only thing I'd add to it, we got an EGT on this thing.
We do.
We're done, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's set up
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Let's do it.
The next day.
All right, we've got this 5.9 Cummins all put back together for the most part, ready to put the cab back down, but thought it'd be good to show you some of the upgrades we've done on this truck to get it set up to run good for another 300,000 miles. So we've done the Tow Monster Plus engine in this truck. We did a bulletproof diesel water pump, all new belts, pulleys. We did a redhead steering gear. You know, a lot of these Dodges, they get worn out steering. This truck, everything was worn out on this truck. So we did a redhead steering gear, all new tie rod ends. We've got a new track bar that we'll put on afterwards. We did front axle U-joints. We had to do a new hub on this side. We've got all new body mounts going on this truck as well too. The old ones are really worn out, deteriorated. We got new front shocks. He's gonna be ready to go. We also put a brand new radiator in. He still had his original radiator, so we put a brand new radiator in as well while the cab was off. So we'll go ahead and get that cab lowered now, and we'll get everything hooked up, and we'll have this thing fired up here shortly. Come down some more. All right, it's the much waited for moment. My nerves are a little high. They always are when you go to start an engine after you do a new rebuild. You just hope everything goes good. I've got basically everything hooked up. Obviously I don't have the bumper on or the fender liners or a few other things, but for the most, I've got this engine ready to start. So right now I want to start it up, make sure it sounds good and runs good and has oil pressure, things like that. And then I'll go ahead and get everything else on the truck. So let's cross our fingers and go turn the key and hope this truck fires up. Looks like we've got good oil pressure. I always like to start my engine, let it build oil pressure for a little bit so oil fills up all the galleys and everything. Make sure I don't have any huge fluid leaks, obviously. And then I shut it off, go through, check all my fluids again, make sure they're still good, and then we'll run it through the break-in period. But we got this truck fired up and ready to go. Sounds really good. All right, we've got the rest of this truck put back together. He's got an aftermarket air brake system set up and just a few other things, but we've got it all hooked up and the truck's running really good. Engine sounds great, fires right up, and I think this customer should be really happy with this build that we've done for him.